Don't stick magnets inside of real children's heads. It's not a good idea. Hello, frog fans. Alright, so as you can see, I've got a little nest full of pacifiers, and today I'm going to show you how to magnify pacifiers for your dolls. So I'm going to do two. I'm going to do one for Hermione, my toddler who already has a magnet in her head, and a second for my little baby fox who does not have a magnet in his head yet. So I'm going to do this little fish pacifier for Fox, and I've already cut off the nipple, so obviously first you cut off the nipple, but I find usually it's hard to get the scissors in there, right, because, you know, most pacifiers slope up a little bit. So I'm going to take a scalpel and just cut that extra off. Careful not to slip and cut my finger off. Wouldn't that make a fun video? Watch me go to the ER to get my finger sewn up. Okay, I think that's good enough. So next I think I'll do Fox first. So I've got my tin of magnets in here. I get these magnets from, some of them, the bigger ones I got from McPherson's, and then the smaller ones I got from Michael's. They're both very strong. Pretty sure you can get something like that from Bountiful Baby too. So let's get baby Fox out of the bouncer up here. Come here. Wow. There he is. So first, obviously, the first step is going to be to take his little head off. Where is his zip tie? The side of his head. Your head is on good, little bud. Okay. Yeah, I've lost, like, my good zip tie cutting scissors. I would not recommend doing this with a scalpel, by the way, but my scissors are lost because I rearranged my entire room and I can't find them. Oh, I might just be able to pop his head out. There we go. There we go. This is the only video you'll watch online where, you know, someone can say that and it will be legal. Just pop his head off. Okay, so I've cleared out the stuffing so that I can see his little mouth indentation there. So I'm going to get two magnets. No, it's getting, of course I keep them in a metal box, so it's impossible to get them apart. These things are so strong that it's almost impossible to break them apart from each other. There we go, okay. So keep that there. Come here. So I'm going to pop one inside Fox's head. Just right down there. And then I'm going to take one, and I'm not going to secure it to anything yet, and I'm just going to place it on the pacifier about where the nipple would be. Then I'm going to just attach it to his mouth. So right around his chin probably is where it would land. Oop, not over there. You might need to play with this a little bit. Okay, so that on his face is about right underneath. Right underneath where the nipple would usually be. So I just use that to measure, because I want it to be an exact fit. And then I'm going to, glue this on here. Okay, I'm back with my glue. One note about this glue, this is the recommended glue for most reborn artists. I recommend it too, because it always works. However, you are going to want to invest in a pair of vice grips, because that's the only way I can get the lid off, because it gets glued shut every single time. So, I'm just going to put a little dab right there. And then I'm going to wipe off the glue. And put the cap back on before it starts dripping, because this does drip. So, something very, very important, because I've seen some very sad reborn artists or reborn moms who have, or dads, who have tried to do this and then not let the glue dry, and then the glue starts to dry to the mouth, and when they pull it off, they either can't get it off at all, they rip the vinyl, or they end up ripping all the paint off, and there is no way to fix that, okay? So, you need to let this dry for, it says 24 hours, I would just say until it does not feel tacky at all, and then you can go on to the next step. So this is obviously going to be a very long video for me to shoot. So, that's Fox's passy, and then we'll come back to gluing his magnet later. Okay, there's my big girl. Okay, so she already has a magnet, so I don't need to take her head off for this. I'm sure she's, tired of that happening. Hermione's probably had her head taken off in more videos on this channel than any other doll. So, I'm going to give her this cute little, oh, you can't even see it, this cute little elephant man pacifier. So, again, I'm going to let the magnet find her magnet. Where is it? You guys, I think she might have lost her magnet. Hold on, let me try another one. Oops, turn the camera. I'm going to try one of these smaller ones from Michael's. And drop it, apparently. Okay, maybe we will have to take her head off, because I think she might have lost her magnet inside her mouth somehow. Alright, so I have Luna now, and she definitely still has her magnet. And I wasn't going to give her this pacifier, but I think it might actually be kind of cute for her. So, little froggy pacifier, it already has it's a nipple cut off. So I'm going to take one of the magnets, and I'm just going to let it attach itself to her face. And then the same that we did with trying to place Fox's pacifier. I'm just going to take her face and try to line it up with what best suits her face. You're going to want to look at it from all angles, so I can kind of see it out the side. That might be a little bit hard to fix. Okay, so it's not too terribly noticeable. Okay, and looking into that crack, I can see that this is coincidentally right smack dab where the nipple should be. I'm going to bring us back down here. I've already forgotten what side she's magnetized to. Okay, that's very important, especially with dolls that are already magnetized. You need to remember what side the magnet needs to be facing, or else the pacifier won't stick. And trust me, you do not want to try and pry an already glued magnet off, because, you know, you're going to wreck something, maybe your fingers in the process. So again, a little bit of glue. Trust me, you do not need much of this. Then wipe to prevent the lid getting stuck. Cap. Double check the magnet position. I mean, not position. The side that it needs to be stuck to. And drop. Okay. I'm feeling a little bit funny about that glue job, so I'm gonna go back and that sounds like an insult. You glue job. So I'm gonna go back in and just put a little more glue. So the most important thing about doing this is to remember to A, make sure that your magnet is pointing the right way, and B, do not let this glue touch your doll, because it will wreck something. You can't know what it's going to wreck, whether it's going to wreck the doll, or it's the pacifier, or whatever, but it is going to mess something up, so do not let this glue touch your doll. And I know that I have it on my fingers now, which is not recommended, but I'm definitely not touching any of my dolls until I have my fingers clean. Alright, so there's the two methods. Once that dries completely, Luna will be able to wear it. And once this one dries completely, I'll come back and show you how to place the magnet inside of the head. Self-explanatory, really, but I thought I'd make a video on it anyways. So I'll see you when Fox's pacifier has dried. For now, he's just sitting on my desk with his head displaced. We see a lot of this around here. Luna's not phased. Are you phased, Luna? Doesn't look like it. Alright, so I am back, and the glue has completely dried, so there's no chance of anything bad happening. Some people will also put a little piece of felt over the magnet and glue that down. I'm not going to do that for Fox, unless I decide that I need to later. Sometimes the magnets are so strong that it'll actually leave a little imprint on the vinyl, which is fine as long as you catch it early. And, you know, all that means is that you do need to use the felt. But I tend to check first if that's going to happen, and if it is leaving the imprint, then I'll use the felt. If not, then I'll just leave it like this. So, I need to get another magnet. And I got his pacifier, obviously. I'm going to take his magnet and just plop it in there. Now he's upside down. And then, there we go. It's found it right away. Sometimes you need to move it around the face a little bit. Okay. So just move that into, until you've found a place that you like where it sits. And because we already matched it up before this, it should be fairly easy to find a place that you like. So right there, that's pretty close to his mouth. It's not too obvious from any of the ways. I think it's usually a little bit more okay if it's showing more from right down here, because you're very rarely going to see that angle of the doll, whereas from the sides is more important. Okay, so now that that's in a good place, I'm going to bring back the glue. Hey, look, that time I didn't need to get the vice grips to unglue the cap, to untwist the cap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze some glue out onto this paintbrush. And cap it. And I'm going to go in and oddly enough I'm going to take the magnet out. And on the side that I know it's going to be facing in the head, I'm just going to rub the glue onto the magnet. Place the pacifier back roughly where it should go and drop. Now, if you're lucky, it will not make contact with the side of the face inside, and it'll go straight to the magnet. If it does, however, happen to fall and flop glue side down inside, you're going to have to pick it back out. Just remember, number one rule when working with this glue, never ever touch the outside of the doll with glue, because that will majorly beep up the work on the doll, which you do not want, because that is not fixable most of the times. Okay, I've lost a little bit the placement, so I'm just gonna toy around with it until I've found it again. Fox, or this violet, it's violet, isn't, no, olive, the olive kit. It's a very hard kit to find pacifiers for, because the cheeks are so chubby. Most of the shields don't like to sit on the right place in their face. Whoops. Okay, I like that. So now obviously you just leave it to dry for about 24 hours, maybe less. It's a little bit harder to judge if the magnet is fully stuck in there because, you don't want to reach in, so I suggest just leaving it for the full recommended 24 hours, and then you can pull this pacifier off. And your magnet will be all stuck, and you'll be ready to use the pacifier. Alright, so now Fox has his head back, and obviously that's the last step of giving the doll a pacifier, putting their head back on, and putting the stuffing back in, and putting their head back on. So, that is how you do a magnetic pacifier for a baby. for a reborn baby. Don't stick magnets inside of real children's heads. It's not a good idea. As if you needed me to tell you that, but yet again, there's senseless warnings on everything these days, so yeah. Anyways, that is all for now. Keep living the frogling's life, and I will see you next time. Bye!